Hello class, my name is Chad Bernard. Today I'm going to discuss with you the Bombardier Crj200. The Crj200 is a small regional jet that holds 75 passengers or less. It is currently being used by many regional and has recently been picked up by many major airliners such as Delta, United Airliners, Air Wisconsin, PSA Airliners, to name a few. It has two General Electric CF34 3BI 1 turbofan engines. It also has 8,729 pounds of thrust at takeoff, along with 9,220 pounds of thrust APR, or it's called automatic performance reserves. The CRJ200 is 87 feet and 10 inches in length, with a wingspan of 69 feet 7 inches. It has a high cruising speed of 0.81 Mach, or 534 miles per hour, and a normal cruising speed of 0.74 Mach, or 488 miles per hour. If its maximum fuel load is 14,305 pounds, and its maximum payload is 13,100 pounds. All of these components make the CRJ200 a relatively comparable plane to its larger counterparts, which is why many airliners find them more cost efficient to fly. Now, to move on to the pre-flight briefing. One must first make sure the engines are within the limits. The temperatures outside aren't too cold or too hot. You do this by ensuring the lights are not red, which are red is bad, and it is displaying a green normal light, which means it is within operating range. Then you want to start with a core RPM N2 at 20%, and make sure that the core RPM is within range, is maintained at idle at 56.5 to 68% RPM. Then you need to ensure that the oil temperature is within limits of 25 psi. Minimum, because you don't want to be below that with your oil. And the maximum psi you can continuously do is 115 psi. To start the engine on the first try, you have a maximum time of 1 minute on, followed by 10 seconds off. The second time, you could do it 1 minute on, 10 seconds off. But third, fourth, fifth, etc., it's 1 minute on, 10 minutes off. After you have done that, we will start with the checklist for the controls and indications. You first need to ensure that the green generators are on. Next would be that the climbing power is set. Third, you test and set the left and right set panels. Next would be the safety checklist. The check must first be checked to make sure they are set and in place. Next, you need to check that the aircraft has all required documents on board, like the MIMS, minimum equipment checklist, the QRH, the airworthiness certificate, the registration certificate, so on and so forth. Then you would check the circuit breakers to ensure that all circuit breakers are set and functioning. Next, you will then check the emergency equipment on board, such as the escape ropes. Make sure they are put and stored. Then you will check the escape hatch is secured. The hair on fire extinguisher is checked for pressure and stored and secured up so it doesn't go on, etc., etc. Then you would check the maintenance status to ensure that all maintenance records are set within the FOM. Then we would make sure that the nose wheel is chocked, is turned off, and the cargo fans are off. Hydraulic pumps are off, and the gear lever is down. Then the spoil lever is retracted. Thrust lever shut off. Flaps are set. Rudder is off. And AGD handle is stowed. After we have completed the AGD handle stowing, then we will move on to the battery master on switch and make sure it is on. First one must ensure that it is on one end, that there is no EICAS messages eliminated on it when you turn on the master switch, and that the APU battery voltage is at the minimum of 22 volts. And if you are not booked, and if we are not hooked up to any external powers sources, we have to use the APU. APU stands for auxiliary power units. The APU starting procedure, if it is in the first flight, we have to make sure to perform the fire detection safety before anything happens. How we do this is selecting the APU power fuel switch. We make sure it is on. Then the APU invite message will appear for about 5 seconds. Then the next message will be the APU SOV open. Minutes. Then that will be the APU SOV open status. Then the RPM and the EGT will pop below the gauges. Then the APU status open appears. Then the stop switch light, and you press it and you hold it. Don't hold it because bad things happen when you do that. Then the message will appear, and at 55% RPM, the APU start message will disappear. Everything's going to go away when that hits that point. And at 99% RPM, roughly 4 seconds later, you will have the available indications eliminated on the start switch. So you can push it. And that means you are ready to bleed everything off. Then, you don't want to do that for at least 2 minutes because you want the APU, because the APU EGT will spike if you do that. And that is how you start the engine with the APU with an auxiliary power unit. Then after that, you have to go through the fire safety checklist, which will be selected. You put it in the test position by holding it. The ICA advisory message will appear. Next, we'll release the fire X monitor. The APU bottle switch releases to normal. Then you continue to check. As this is going on, you will hear bells, whistles, everything's going to be going off. Different things will eliminate. The master warning switch will flash. Then you have to push it to cancel. Then the APU fire push, the bottle switches to release the fire, will eliminate. Then the warning devices will go off. Then you push the button again and to turn it off. I appreciate that's how you do a APU start switch, and that's some information about the Crj200. Thank you so much. Bye.